The field gets told to cross over. 1 lap to go, and we'll go green next time by for the Casella 80, the premier division here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Each and every Friday night, want to thank everybody for coming out to the Stafford Half Mile, and for those tuning in on Flow across the country here this evening, welcome to Stafford, the Casella 80, set to go this time by. Field of 28 lined up, ready to go, and with the call of the start of tonight's 80-lap feature event from Vernon, Connecticut, here's the longtime voice of the Stafford Motor Speedway, Ben Dodge.
They're about ready to fire them up off turn number 4. All eyes are on the field. The SK Modified Casella 80 is green here at Stafford, bottom of turn number 1. Inside looks Gracie, but by the time they come off from turn number 2, it is Andrew Moeller by inches ahead of Jonathan Pulio. Side by side, stacked up 2 by 2, Kyle, but the leader on lap number 1 will be Andrew Moeller.
Last year's champion here at the Stafford Speedway, Andrew Moeller to the point. Here comes Mike Christopher Jr. wasting little time, trying to get to the front of the field. Bottom shot in turn number 3. Car 82, Mike Christopher Jr. goes to the front by a half a car length. He'll lead lap 2.
We've only had 2 circuits, 1 mile. Already 2 different lead changes. If you think they're done yet, you are completely wrong. Meanwhile, to the outside, and now challenging to the inside, Pulio dives down low to the inside lane. Behind him is Chapman with car number 41. Back to the bottom of turn 2. Still side by side for second. Leader remains Michael Christopher, stepping out of line, tapped to the back bumper. Andrew Moeller wants his spot back, Kyle. He comes off turn number 4.
Here he comes, bottom of the racetrack. Another lap in the books. It is Christopher at the line by a bumper, 12/100ths of a second at the stripe, but Moeller digging hard on the inside of the racetrack off of turn number 2. Retakes the race lead. Jonathan Pulio, best seat in the house, right there in third. Chapman in fourth in the 41.
Well, all that's been happening among the top 4 cars. Noah Corner, car number 31, is up to the 5th spot. Where's Keith Rocco? He's in the 6th position. Then a side-by-side battle between Troy Talman and Max Zackham. Back up front. In 4 circuits, we had 2 different lead changes among 2 cars. Back to the front of the field. Moeller clicks off the quickest lap, 19.478. Margin of first and second, 0.180. Here comes Christopher again. Reels him back in. Can't do it. JP is waiting in the wings. They come off turn 4.
Looked to make a move, but fell in the line, talking about Mike Christopher Jr., but now he'll make a move in turn 1 to the bottom of the racetrack on race leader Andrew Moeller. They are nose-to-nose for the top spot, just in front of Jonathan Pulio. Chapman in corner. Christopher back to the front of the field, maybe off of turn number 4. He'll clear him by a car length.
3 different times we have had a change at the point among the same 2 cars. But now, moving in is JP. Jonathan Pulio has had a car that sticks like glue to the inside of the racetrack. That's making Moeller take a different line. Here comes Chapman now. And all of a sudden, car 31, Noah Corner, who's had a terrible start to the season. He's among the top 5 and moving in deep into turn 3.
Had a great run in his heat race last Friday night, running in the top 5 right now in car number 31, and watching the battle for third just in front of him between Tyler Chapman and Andrew Moeller, who is backslid to position number 4, tucks in the line just in front of corner. Top 5 have pulled away. Could we have another battle for the lead in 3? Julio's thinking about it on Mike Christopher Jr.
Meanwhile, Chapman gave a shot to the back bumper that would jar the fillings in anyone's teeth. But it is not going to rattle the talents of JP, Jonathan Pulio. Pulio still sets in second. Chapman is back there in third. Moeller in the 4th spot, and Noah Corner rounding out the top 5. Then there's a gap. Keith Rocco in the 6th spot, hunted down in the 7th position by Mikey Flynn with the 24, Max Zackham and Michael Jervis.
That's the way they run, front half of the field, and everybody for now is calmed down and singled out up the back straightaway. The battle for second is best. Jonathan Pulio has it, a car length behind race leader Mike Christopher Jr. and just in front of Tyler Chapman and Andrew Moeller. Part of that lead pack off of turn number 2. Battle for 6th is also good. Stacks up a bit off of the corner, led by Keith Rocco in the 22. He's under fire. To the inside goes Mikey Flynn.
Mikey Flynn showing he can get the job done. He is one of those competitors that sometimes runs under the radar. Not tonight. He moves in, takes over the 6th spot. Max Zackham is there, forcing Rocco to again get back up on the wheel, back up front. Will we have the 4th different lead change of the event? And will it be among 3 different cars? Right now, Pulio still setting in 2nd, Chapman still setting in 3rd. Then there's that gap, and all of a sudden, here comes the 31. Noah Corner dives down low, he moves in, takes over the 4th position. Noah Corner lights up the wheel and engineering lights and takes over the 4th spot. Back up front, Pulio is right there now.
Yeah, Jonathan Pulio has had several looks to the inside of Mike Christopher Jr., who is a bit stronger in that 2nd lane. Pulio right on the bottom. That has drawn Chapman in to make it a 3-way race up front. 17 of 80 laps in the books, and it has been a barn burner in the front of the field. And here comes Pulio again, peeking to the inside for the race lead.
Pulio's doing everything he can to get down underneath Michael Christopher. Michael Christopher holds his line. Pulio sees daylight, can't do it, pulls it back into formation. Chapman is right there with him. They come off the 2nd turn. Last circuit by, 0.109. Here comes Pulio. Bonsai move to the inside, can't do it. Meanwhile, Michael Christopher brings him back off turn number 4.
Back to the inside when Pulio and Christopher still has that momentum in the outside lane, able to hold him off lap after lap. Chapman is there in 3rd still. Here comes Pulio. This time he has the run and is up alongside.
Pulio rim rides to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes our 4th different leader of the event. This time it's JP Jonathan Pulio. Pulio moves to the front of the class. That bumps Michael Christopher back in 2nd. Then it is Chapman in the 3rd spot. Christopher gives the old tap to the back bumper. Lets Pulio know he's there. Here comes Noah Corner now. He'll be in the 4th position and starting to close up the gap. Then there's that margin as Andrew Moeller is back in 5th and Mikey Flynn is coming forward. 21 of 80 circuits now complete in the Casella race number 80.
That wasn't that long ago. Moeller was battling for the race lead. He has fallen off the pace just a bit. Not sure if that's by design or not, but could lose the 4th spot here to Mikey Flynn. Flynn is closed in on his back bumper and is peeking to the inside of that 85 car up the back straightaway and will indeed make a move in turn number 3. So move Mikey Flynn into the top 5 for the first time here tonight, closing in on lap number 24 this time by.
There's no question about it. Mikey Flynn's got a good race car as he continues to, once he gets by, here comes Keith Rocco behind Mikey Flynn. It appears that Moeller's car is starting to, well, lose a little momentum in the outside lane. Zackham squeaks by. Jervis is there. That is the battle that is raging for position 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Back up front, leader is Pulio. Off the turn, leads him back to the stripe. Jonathan Pulio, Michael Christopher, right there, running in his tire tracks. And here comes Chapman. Chapman upsets Christopher for a moment, rattles him, but it doesn't work.
Had to look to the inside off of turn number 2 and then had to back out of it just a bit. That allowed the race leader pull away as they put a lap on Art Caruso in car number 81. The leaders go back to turn number 2 and have one car on the pit lane as well here on lap 26.
It appears that Brian Narducci's car is back down on pit road for the first time. 26 circuits now complete into the record books. You're looking at the leader, car number 7. That is, of course, the Mr. Ruger sponsored car. Michael Christopher running in the 2nd spot with car number 82. Christopher running strong. Todd Owens' car, they said, that is the car on pit road. We thought it might have been the Narducci car, the teammate, but it is Owens' machine. What a heartbreaker here.
Three-time champion of this division on the pit lane, so the struggles in 2025 continue for car number 81, Todd Owen, as the leaders come off of turn number 4 to be lap 29 in the books. This one clicking off at a pretty good clip, and right now it's Jonathan Pulio at the point over Mike Christopher Jr. Watching David Arute in a side-by-side battle further back as that black and gold numeral number 85 continues to backslide, and Andrew Moeller lost a little bit of ground here and is about to be passed by Narducci to the inside. Also in that battle, Anthony Flannery in the 25 cars. They go back to turn number 3.
That is a battle currently looking at the bottom of the top 10. Good racing action. Troy Talman starting to come to life just a bit. Meanwhile, back up front, there is JP, Jonathan Pulio. We are 30 of the 80 laps complete and into the record books. Margin between first and second is now 0.286. Tyler Chapman is 0.6 back, and then Noah Corner, he's coming on strong at 1.277.
Only a car length between the top two as they hit the line. More lap traffic in front. David Flamme Jr. will go a lap down. Kurt Brainerd, the longtime veteran of this division, multi-time winner back in the 90s and early 2000s. Car 96 still at it here each and every Friday night. He too now just in front of the race leaders as they come back down to the stripe. A car spun in turn 2. Wesley Prucker goes around. Caution comes out for the first time here on lap 33.
The independent runner out of Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Wesley Prucker, who's been very strong in recent weeks from the town of Stafford. His car goes around, and we're not sure. We caught the tail end of it. Down on pit road, it is Moeller, car number 85. The car that started up front was really strong in the opening laps of the event. Now it's heading back down on pit road. We're not sure what's happening there, but they're jacking up the back end of the car, and his dad calling the shots from behind pit road. Todd Owen's number 81 car appeared to come down on pit road, and we'll check in with our pit road reporters.
Yeah, Todd Owen's got issues with the motor. That's why he came in under green. They're trying to look over the engine right now and see if they can figure out what the problem is. Also got Anthony Flannery coming down on pit road. He didn't make much forward progress since the start of the race. They're going to check the air pressures on that car and jack it up. I also got Dylan Izzo on the 76 in front of me. They're checking over the right side tires on that machine. Maybe a little adjustment to his car, trying to get it better here for the final 40 laps.
Dave Barabol.
They're working on the left rear, the 85 of Andrew Moeller, making a change. I talked to JP's dad, John Pulio's dad, Ed Pulio. I said, is he saying anything at all about the car? He says he's very quiet in there. I go, does that mean confidence? All he would say, Dave, he's very quiet.
So there you have it. Being quiet is good in some cases. We have literally a parade of cars that are down on pit road. Kurt Brainerd's car is there. Prucker's car, the car that brought out the caution. And now the Bowles machine, driven by Dylan Izzo, is coming back out and rejoining the field. We'll set the field for you. 32 laps in this Casella waste machine. Jonathan Pulio has been one of 4 different leaders in the event. Michael Christopher, one of the early leaders, is running in second. Tyler Chapman has been a factor in third. Noah Corner, great run in fourth. Same can be said of Mike Lee Flynn, up to 5. Let's go back down on pit road.
Quick update on Dylan Izzo. He said the car was getting loose. They made an adjustment to the right front of the 76 machine and got him back out there.
Izzo back out on the racetrack in the 76, along with Anthony Flannery, Kurt Brainerd, all heading onto the racetrack. Looks like Todd Owen's issues might be terminal here. He was on the pit lane several laps prior to the caution flag, and tough to fix engine issues on the pit lane during an event.
Tough break situation for Todd Owen. He's one of the hardest guys working both on and off the racetrack, but right now we're about ready to fire them back up. Lap number 32, back to green, and it appears that JP did a great job in the outside lane, and it cost Michael Christopher position number 2. Tyler Chapman moves to the SK Modifieds, and he is showing muscle. But look out, because here comes Mikey Flynn. Car number 24 started in the 9th position. He has moved in. We've got a challenge still, again, taking place not only for the lead, taking place for the 3rd and 4th, the 5th and 6th, and 7th and 8th positions.
Great positions at top 8. Caution does come out for a spin over in turn number 1. Wade Gagner goes around by himself in one of his first starts in this race, or this division. 3rd start here in the SK Modifieds for the driver of car number 70, the owner and creator of Wild Thing Karts that compete here each and every Monday night for the last couple of decades here. And Wade trying his hand in an SK Modifieds. Always wanted to race in this division. We've seen him for the last several years in the SK Lights and made the move just a couple of weeks ago. And Wade, I'm sure, even with the spin, big smile on his face. He is always smiling, whether it be on Friday nights here at the racetrack or on Mondays when the youngsters take to the Manafort Mini Mile.
Already down at pit road, it is it is the 1 car for Rich Vassar coming down at pit road. And of course, back in again, Dylan Izzo with the number 76 car, and Kurt Brainerd back down at pit road.
Yeah, they jacked up the back end of Dylan Izzo's 76 car. They're checking the right rear on that machine. Still probably not happy with the car, trying to get it tightened up. He's down and away. Vassar also on pit road. They're going to jack up the left side of the 1 machine and see what they can work on with that car. He came late today, had a graduation to go to, had no practice, so his first laps on the track were at the green flag for this feature.
Guys, I don't know if you picked it up. 3-time champion Todd Owen sits behind pit wall.
Yeah, he is out of the event after engine issues for Todd Owen. Matt Vassar on pit road was running 18th at the time of his pit stop. He remains in his pit stall. Kurt Brainerd heads back onto the racetrack. We'll go back to the pit lane as we get 1 to go.
Guys, 1 guy on the move is Marcello Rafrano. He started deep in the field. I talked about how his car was stupid fast in his own words in practice. He's very happy with the car now, inside the top 10 on the outside of the 4th row.
He started back in the 16th position. We refer to him, and he gets a big smile every time we say it, as the pride of Italy. His heritage is, of course, Italian, and he is very, very proud, and he is very strong here tonight. Long way to go. 33 of 80 laps are all but gone. Here they come off turn number 4. It is Jonathan Pulio. Tyler Chapman, different player to the outside. They're up to speed.
Tyler Chapman topside, Jonathan Pulio to the bottom. Green flag is back out. They race to turn number 1 to begin lap number 34, and it's the inside that will advance. Jonathan Pulio by a car length. Here comes Mike Christopher Jr. looking to fill that hole on the bottom on Chapman for 2nd. Chapman trying to slam the door. There wasn't enough room. Christopher up alongside for the runner-up spot.
Christopher's car bobbles just a bit. He gets right back on the throttle and straightens it out. Here comes Mikey Flynn. Mikey Flynn, car 24, started in the 9th position. He has moved up, challenging in the 3rd spot. He shuffles Chapman back a little bit further, and all of a sudden, moving now to the inside, Max Zackham is coming to the top 5. Zackham is there as he works his magic. Noah Corner continues to run hard. Here comes Keith Rocco. He's making his presence known, and right there with him, Marcello Rafrano.
Rocco looking for 3 in a row here in the SK Modifieds. Car 22 right now just outside of the top 5 behind Noah Corner, who holds that 5th position. Up front, just a couple of car lengths between the top 2. Still Jonathan Pulio over Mike Christopher Jr. They've been able to leg it out just a bit in the few green flag laps that we have run from Mikey Flynn, who runs in 3rd, about 5 car lengths back. He is also running unchallenged from Tyler Chapman in 4th.
Meanwhile, while that's been happening, Noah Corner is trying to shake off Keith Rocco. That's no easy task by any stretch of the imagination. That is back in the 6th position. Back up front, Christopher trying again to reel in on Pulio. While that's happening, let's drift back to the 3rd and 4th position, because there is the same type of battle going on between Mikey Flynn and Chapman. You're looking at it right now. Behind them, Noah Corner and Keith Rocco. Lap number 39, 1 lap shy of the halfway marker. If this was a regular Friday night event, the race would be over right now. Kyle, that's not the story tonight.
Doubling the distance here tonight in the Casella 80 as they cross the line. 40 down, 40 to go, and it is Jonathan Pulio leading the way over Mike Christopher Jr. They've been able to pull away. That ongoing battle for fourth between Flynn and Chapman's a good one. Corner in fifth, then Rocco in sixth. Strung out in the front half of the field. Further back, Corey DiMatteo stepping out of line. Troy Talman goes to the outside in car number 3. A couple of blue machines racing for position there as we watch the battle for third as well. So racing all over the speedway here as we are now in the second half of this feature event.
That's right. Nobody's giving up any extra real estate here. Meanwhile, you're looking at the 11 car, Corey DiMatteo. He continues to try to fight off Troy Talman in the Casella Waste number 3 car. Then it is Kopech right there with him. Avery is in there. He's in the dogfight battle there. And Michael Jervis along with David Arute. Lap number 42, leader still remains Pulio. Margin, 0.467. What that means is simply Pulio is getting quicker and quicker on each and every circuit by. Now we're looking further back again. Talman trying to shake off Dylan Kopech. And right there is Jervis. Can't do it. David Arute is also a factor in that pack of cars.
Arute in the red, white, and blue 75 to the outside of one of the most veteran drivers in this division, Dan Avery, one of the first ever winners in this class back in the early 1980s. Still at it, still running well here. Dan comes off of turn number 4, looking for a spot on David Arute just in front of Alex Pearl in car number 71. So a good pack of traffic here, mid-pack, just behind Troy Talman in that Casella-sponsored number 3, who leads them into turn number 3. And a change for position, Michael Jarvis to the inside of Dylan Kopech. Kopech crosses back over into 16 as the leaders exit turn number 2 and race up the back straightaway, about a half a lap ahead of this battle for position between Kopech and Jarvis.
Meanwhile, lap number 50, we have a big bonus coming up, Kyle, and that, of course, is the leader of that event. You're looking at Dylan Kopech trying everything to make the move to the inside and pick up the spot from Michael Jervis. Can't do it. Here's the guy who is looking for that bonus on lap number 50. Some serious money on the line there.
That's a $100 bonus from Donnie and Carol Clifford. And they put that money up, and we'll see who earns that $100 bonus here in about a lap and a half from now. Jonathan Pulio in good shape to pick up that bonus money. We'll see. Has about 5 car lengths over Mike Christopher Jr.
You're looking at the great battle going on between Matt Zackham and Keith Rocco and Noah Corner. Rocco has moved into the top 5. He is like a man possessed.
Caution.
Now, trouble now. Caution flag is out.
Wade Gagner, Kurt Brainerd, and Troy Talman all get collected in an incident off of turn number 4, and some pretty good right side damage to the Wade Gagner car. Kurt Brainerd looking to pull away in the 96.
And maybe the Talman machine, we're not quite sure. We just caught the tail end of that, but doesn't look good for him or Wade Gagner. Kind of a heartbreaker for Wade, who was looking just to get some lap time and finish this one out. Alex Pearl on pit road with car number 71, and Andrew Moeller is back on pit road as well. The Parker machine is located there, and now the Troy Talman car is quickly heading down on pit road, the Casella Waste sponsored machine. Let's go down to pit road.
Well, it looks like they're checking the right rear of the 85 and perhaps a little bit on the left. Mike Moeller going to the front of the car, looking to maybe to clear off some of the debris that might be in the air jam. Bonzi, you got anything happening up your end?
Yeah, I got Wesley Prucker over here. Car is loose. Back end tries to go around on that 23 car. They're coming down pit road. They're checking the air pressures. They might be taking a little bit of air out of the right rear tire.
So work continues on pit road, and work continues by the Monaco track crew here at the Speedway. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, it's Monaco Ford, Glastonbury, Connecticut, and Niantic, Connecticut. Don't forget, this Thursday, June 19th, that special annual car show held at the Irish American Club on Commerce Street in Glastonbury. We're going to take a look at the replay coming up in just a moment. Prucker is looking to return to the competition, and here is the replay. Now, we didn't catch this when it all came into play on the first time. One car snaps around.
Looked like Troy Talman, and Wade had nowhere to go.
Yes,
in
and
the
he got
70.
pinned to the outside wall, and there is the damage done to the Mayberry Associates machine, car number 70. This is truly one of the great guys in the sport. Let's go back down at pit road.
Brian Narducci is in the pits now. He's complaining that his car is a little bit free. So they're going to make an adjustment. They're looking at the right front suspension right now. Got the right side jacked up, trying to tighten that car just a bit. Just snug it up a bit here for the final half of the race.
Tough night for that team. First Todd Owen having issues, having to go behind the wall, and now Brian Narducci on the pit lane making some adjustments to that car. He is down and away. Alex Pearl, the only other car on pit road right now, in car number 71, as the Monaco Ford safety team wrapping up cleanup off of turn number 4. We do want to give another shout out to Donnie and Carol Clifford. Big thank you for their sponsorship of the race leader coming up on lap number 50. A $100 bonus will be awarded to the driver at lap 50. That's one lap after we go back under the green flag.
Those two have been involved in the sport of modified racing for a long time. They worked with Ricky Fuller and several other drivers on the Whelen Modified Tour over the years. So hats off to them for helping and saluting these SK modified drivers here today. We'll set the field for you. Jonathan Pulio has been the leader. Michael Christopher is second. Mikey Flynn up to the top 3. Timing and scoring shows Tyler Chapman in 4th, Keith Rocco for 5, Noah Corner for 6, Max Zackham for 7, Marcello Rufano for 8th, Stephen Chapman for the 9th position, and Corey DiMatteo in the 10th spot. Just out of the top 10, Dylan Kopech, Michael Jervis, Dan Avery, David Arute, and Alexander Pearl, but he was down on pit road. He'll have to pick up at the rear of the field as well.
That's the front half of the field as they get the one to go signal. We'll go back to pit road.
Quickly with Todd Owen. Todd, what took you out of the race?
We had a rocker arm brake. Just one of them things never happened before to us, and you know, hats off to Donnie Wood and Brad Auto Machine. It's guys right there with me and behind me all the time. So we'll just come back stronger, hopefully.
Todd Owen out of the race. Now he's helping out Brian Narducci, who's still out there on the track.
Very quickly, guys, before we go back to green, I talked to the Mike Christopher team. They think they are very close to making something happen over the final stages.
Well, they got 31 laps to do it.
Yes, they do, and it has been a barn burner so far. Here they come. Back up through the gears and off the turn. Guess what? Michael Christopher did not lie a bit, but JP Jonathan Pulio is an informative match as he heads off the turn. JP is back in command. Christopher changes his line, dips to the bottom in front of Mikey Flynn. Now Mikey Flynn sees the door open. Mikey Flynn, the 24 car, the Bellaheggie Farms machine, in the 3rd position. Forcing up the hill is Chapman, and like it was happening on cue, here comes Keith Rocco. Rocco in the 5th position.
And at the line, lap 50 in the books, and congratulations to our race leader for Jonathan Pulio, picking up the $100 bonus from Donnie and Carol Clifford, as now we enter the final 30 laps, and wow, what a race to the lead in turn 3. Mike Christopher Jr. all over the back bumper of race leader Jonathan Pulio. Mikey Flynn, who has had a great season so far, right there in the 3rd spot. Here comes Christopher to the bottom.
Christopher tries to make the move down under, but when JP gets on the gas, that car just jumps ahead by about half a car length. Back to the stripe he comes. JP is still the leader of the event. While that battle's shaping up, here comes Christopher again. Challenge, tries it for the 2nd time. Doesn't work. Trying to wear out JP is Michael Christopher. Waiting in the wings, it is Mikey Flynn, Keith Rocco, as they work their magic back to turn 1.
Christopher letting the race leader know that he is there, and Jonathan Pulio again peeks to the inside off of turn number 2. JP a little bit stronger at the outside lane for now, maintains the race lead. Flynn closing in from 3rd. Rocco looking for 3 in a row here tonight in the 4th spot. Tyler Chapman to round out the top 5. All grouped right together toward the front, top 2, and then a bit of a gap back to that ongoing race from 3rd on back into the final 25 laps.
Here they come off turn number 4. Pulio still. Nothing has rattled Pulio at this point in the event. He is just as consistent and smooth, hitting his marks each and every time. Michael Christopher has been all over Pulio. He's tried a different move on every turn of this racetrack, but can't pull it off yet. But he's in striking distance. 57 clicks off on the big board of 80 circuits in the Casella Waste 80.
Jonathan Pulio, race leader. Christopher in second. Flynn all by himself in third. Rocco and Chapman, good race for position number 4. Everybody else has settled in the line. Marcello Refrano's charged to the front, has kind of stalled out just a bit outside of the top 5. Refrano running in position number 7. Car number 88, that is where he has been for much of the last 15 or 20 laps, just behind Max Zackham. And speaking of Max Zackham, we want to mention that the race winner will receive a Woodford Reserve Double Oaked Whiskey here tonight, courtesy of Lumax Package Store in Preston, Connecticut.
And that's the good stuff, Kyle. And of course, JP would like a sip of that story in the winner's circle. Meanwhile, starts to string it out a little bit more. Margin between first and second, 0.347. JP, Jonathan Pulio, if he's been saving anything, it hasn't been seen at all, because when this kid gets up on the wheel and up on the gas, he pulls away by about 2 to 3 car lengths at times, Kyle, as they come back off 4.
And this is the largest lead that we have seen since the restart for Jonathan Pulio over Mike Christopher Jr. It's only a couple of car lengths, less than that now as they close in on the slower Troy Talman car. That 3 is off the pace just a bit up the back straightaway and falls off of the lead lap. Battle for third heats up. Here comes Rocco. He knows that time is beginning to run thin here in his charge to the front. Mikey Flynn hangs on to third for now in car 24.
Now we go back up front. For a moment, it looked like Michael Christopher was not only gaining on JP, but he was almost there as a factor. He has a strong point coming off turn number 4. Let's go back and take a look at Mikey Flynn and Keith Rocco. That is a great battle going on for the 3rd and the 4th position. Rocco can reel in on Flynn, but then Flynn has just enough momentum going as he continues to hold on to that 3rd spot. Leader still remains Jonathan Pulio. 64 of 80 are all but gone. It's now 2 cars way out in front, about almost a half a straightaway over the cars running in the 3rd and 4th position. Here comes Keith Rocco down underneath Mikey Flynn. Can't do it. Flynn shuts the door. Down into turn number 1. It's still Mikey Flynn. Rocco is there. Not enough. He runs in the tire tracks. Can't complete the mission. Back off turn 4. Back up front. Leader is still JP, Jonathan Pulio.
And they're back in turn number 1. Jonathan Pulio and Mike Christopher Jr., 1 and 2, and still about 4 car lengths between them as we are closing in on the final laps of this Casella 80. 66 of 80 in the books, 67 this time around as they move to the outside of the Caruso car in turn number 1. And here comes Christopher with a run up the front stretch and into turn number 1 on Jonathan Pulio. Can't make it stick on the bottom and has to fall in the line. Pulio guarding that outside lane. We'll see, or inside lane. We'll see if he drifts up off of turn number 4.
Once you gain in momentum and was able to pull away in the outside lane, that gave him just a big enough advantage. Michael Christopher was there. He was in striking distance. Clock is ticking. 68 of 80. Off the turn, coming up on lap traffic. Talman, a car that suffered damage early, is off the pace on the inside. Will it become a factor in all of this? Down the back straightaway, Jonathan Pulio continues to string it out. Now it's 0.529 between first and second. Leader is still Pulio. Meanwhile, back in that 3rd position, Mikey Flynn and Keith Rocco. Rocco tested the waters, it didn't work, and he is forced to settle back in as Chapman is right there with him, along with Max Zackham, and Noah Corner with car number 31.
Yeah, they're the closest on the racetrack right now. Zachem and Corner just outside of the top 5, running 6th and 7th up the front straightaway. A full straightaway behind the race leader, who Jonathan Pulio continues to break away at the point. Mike Christopher Jr. had that charge to the inside about 4 laps ago. Since then has faded. Not sure if he used up his stuff or not, but if he's going to make another charge, he's got to do it soon now with just 8 laps to go and not a whole lot of lap traffic in sight for car number 7, Jonathan Pulio out front.
Jonathan Pulio has driven a perfect race, and it's come down to this. We're in the home stretch, 7 circuits remaining. Pulio has really come into his own in 2025. He continues to string it out even more. The margin between first and second is up to .937. Pulio is in a zone of his own at the front of this field. Meanwhile, Christopher still in second. Rocco hunted down by Tyler Chapman, and then there's a gap, and then it's Noah Corner, Max Zachem, Steven Chapman, and Marcello Ruffano and Michael Jervis.
5 laps to go. Ruffano under fire from Jarvis. A car length between those two as they hit the front straightaway. The race leader already off of turn number 2. One of the largest leads of this event, 1 second even between. And now trouble off turn 4. Wesley Prucker goes around all by himself, car 23. And this changes everything.
It sure does. Wesley Prucker's car spins coming off the 4th turn as that will bring out a caution. Remember, 75 laps show up on the board. We're not sure if that will be the last completed scored lap. It'll stay at 75, or it might go back to 74. Timing and scoring, of course, these cars are electronically scored. You are in for what SK Modified Racing is all about. Jonathan Pulio has been the driving force and the dominant car, but it's come down to this, 2.5 miles left in the competition. Michael Christopher has tested the waters, done everything to be able to pull this off. Mikey Flynn, Keith Rocco, that pair in the 2nd row is just as deadly. Then Tyler Chapman and Noah Corner, Max Zachem and Steven Chapman, Marcello Ruffano and Michael Jervis.
I think everybody wanted to see that caution flag except for the race leader, Jonathan Pulio, who had just over a 1 second lead, the largest of this event. And now everybody will close the gap. Mike Christopher Jr., we didn't think would have another shot if the race stayed under green, had faded too much. We'll see if Christopher has anything left for these final 5 laps. Mikey Flynn, a fantastic season, continues here tonight with 5 to go. We'll restart in 3rd. Keith Rocco Jr. looking for 3 in a row, or Keith Rocco, that is, looking for 3 in a row, will finish in 4th. That's Monday night as they double up into their rows of 2.
Here we go. Remember, Michael Christopher at one point had a burst of speed that almost made him the guy to take the lead from JP Jonathan Pulio. Pulio has been fast, flawless, and unbelievable as the leader of this event. Let's see what's going to happen. We're coming down to the wire. All eyes are on turn number 4. Everybody holding out to the edge of their seats. Here they come. Green is back out.
5 laps to go. Pulio to the inside, looking for the race lead on Mike Christopher Jr., and he'll keep it as they exit the corner. Mikey Flynn up the 2nd. Lap traffic ahead as they come off the pit lane right in front of the field in turn number 3. Things are about to get tight as they come down to the stripe.
Off the turn, it's still Pulio in command. Meanwhile, it is Mikey Flynn who is now pressuring Michael Christopher for 2nd. The countdown continues. JP Jonathan Pulio. Meanwhile, Rocco has dropped back. He's in the 5th position. All of a sudden, Mikey Flynn is a factor. We've got cars sideways off turn number 4.
It's Avery all by himself. May have had a little help trying to save that car. Has it fired back up. Will stay under the caution as he keeps the car rolling. So the caution flag flies from the starter stand for Dan Avery.
So Avery spins, tries to get the car out of the damp grass and back out of harm's way, but the caution flag came out. So rinse and repeat time. We'll recycle this, put it back into play, and so far, nobody has been able to rattle Jonathan Pulio. Michael Christopher has given it his all, and he's still not done yet. And what about Mikey Flynn? Great run for this talented guy. Does not get a lot of recognition that he justly deserves. Back down the pit road.
Well, I have the man who has his hand on the leader talking to him. That's Ed Pulio. What is JP telling you as we get ready to go for a very important restart?
He's not saying too much. He's just kind of locked in here, so for him not to be talking, he must feel pretty good. Stafford Speedway, you got to work for it no matter what. There's no gimmies here, so it ain't over yet.
Well, guys, buckle in. We're going to get ready to go green.
Open the year with a win back in April for Jonathan Pulio. Looking for a win here. Would be his 4th career victory in the SK Modifieds. But some of the best around him, including Mike Christopher Jr., who has been so strong at these extra distance events over the last couple of years, restarting in the 2nd spot, down to 3 laps to go. Pace car on pit road.
Here they come, off the turn. Back up through the gears. This time, much closer than the last restart. Pulio continues to guard the inside lane. Michael Christopher up on the wheel. Changes his pattern.
Corner goes around, back straightaway in front of half the field, does a 360, comes back onto the racetrack. Everybody misses him. And let's see if he can get the car fired back up into the final couple laps. Leaders back in turn number 1, and caution comes out.
Wow, what a chain of events in this event that is led up to one of the most exciting finishes of the year so far. And we see the wheel and engineering car of Noah Corner slid down through the grass. He corrected the automobile, but couldn't get it fired back up. Let's go back down on pit road.
So we talked to Ed Pulio, who's on John Pulio's team. Now I got Mike Christopher Sr., crew chiefing for Mike Christopher Jr. Mike, what has your son said about the car so far tonight?
We're just a little too tight center, you know, just giving up the center on the thing is killing us, but got a pretty good car.
So what do you tell him? What do you tell him here in these last few laps with another restart?
Just do a good job and don't miss shift.
That's very important. Don't miss a shit. That's Mike Christopher Sr.
You know, Mike Sr. is a great guy, and he is truly an individual that is focused. The Christopher family, we know the legendary success they've had here. Michael Christopher has had tremendous success over the years as well. We're talking about Senior and Junior. That apple didn't fall far from that tree. So they're going to try to keep a little heat in the tires. It is 78 of 80, 2 circuits to go, 1 mile left in this one as the field still under single file formation, caution lights, and in just a moment we're going to take a look at the replay and what happened with car 31. 31 is on the outside there.
And he and Zachem got tangled up off of turn number 2.
Might have been some contact there as well. Tries to get back out and rejoin, gets about that far, and then that was it. You're looking at a great crowd in attendance here for tonight's event for the Casella Waste number 80. And believe you me, every division, every circuit, every half mile lived up to the performance rating known as Stafford Speedway and the Arute family's presentation here at the half mile.
1 mile to go, 2 laps to settle it here tonight in the Casella 80 for the SK Modifieds. Jonathan Pulio, Mike Christopher Jr. have been up front for a majority of this race. Let's see who will come out on top here. Pace car is on pit road, takes cover as the field comes to the green flag. And again, Christopher does not miss a shift as he stays right up alongside Jonathan Pulio for the race lead as they exit turn 2. It's Pulio by a half a car length. Christopher staying right with him as Brainerd gets out of shape on the back straightaway. 3 cars go crashing up the backstretch into turn 3. Caruso being one of them as they come down to the stripe.
Caution flag is back out. You know, there's an old saying that cautions breed cautions. And I think we're seeing a perfect example of that. Among the cars involved is the number 58 of Chase Van Houten out of Wading River in the 58 car, and it looks like Kurt Brainerd's car is the second car, and there is one additional car there as well. So back under caution, Monaco Safety Services crew there to get those cars either hooked up or fired back up.
Kurt Brainerd was the first car to get out of shape off of turn number 2. The car broke loose, and a couple of cars behind him, including Caruso and Van Houten, had nowhere to go as we go to pit road.
Well, I'm down here with Steven Kopsick. And Steven, Keith's looking for 3 in a row. He's going to start outside row number 2. What is he telling you about the 22?
He's not really saying a whole lot. We missed it a little bit tonight, but he's the guy to make the best of it, so it's not over yet. Let's see what he can do.
Guys, once again, Keith Rocco, I don't think you ever count him out.
I also got Neil Flynn here, Mikey Flynn's father. Neil, Mikey's running in third right now. What's he saying about the car?
So far, the car's been pretty good. It's gone from a little tight to about neutral again. So far, we're hoping we can hold on to the last bumpers in front of us and finish this race off in a good spot.
What are you going to tell him here on this final restart?
Keep those gaps tight. Don't let anybody down.
There you go, Mikey Flynn fighting for a win here in the Casella Waste SK Modified 80.
And what would be his second career win here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Picked up his first just a year ago in car number 24. Wow, we heard from all the crew chiefs on the radio with these drivers. They all seem fairly happy among the top 2 rows.
And Kyle, in case you didn't notice, with Father's Day coming up on Sunday, we have talked to the fathers that are, well, making the shots behind the scenes here. So again, the best gift of all to any of the fathers that we have been talking with would be to stand in Victory Lane, in Napa Victory Lane, and be the recipient tonight of the Casella 80-lap feature event. Let's go back down on pit road.
I'm with Troy Talman, who fell out of the race several laps ago. Troy, what put the 3 car out tonight?
Well, you know, we were just riding early part of the race, and my windshield was getting full of fluid. I didn't know if it was somebody in front of me or if it was us. Turned out it was us. The power steering slowly went out probably around lap 40, 45, and the thing finally gave out. I tried to hang in there best I could, just, you know, do what we can. But I want to thank Casella Waste Systems for putting this hell of a show on. I'm really happy to see the stands packed. Hopefully it's been a good show for him. Just a tough break for us. Can't thank all my guys enough.
Tom is going to keep marching on, though. He had a great run a couple weeks ago, and we know how good he was last year, trying to build off a good 24 and have a better start to 25.
Well, it appears that we have what looks to be 1 car left to be removed, and then we can go back to settling this situation. All of a sudden, Keith Rocco's car comes to a stop, and that is between turns 1 and 2. Now, from our vantage point, we're trying to see, and it doesn't appear that Rocco is moving inside the car like he's trying to start the car or refire the car up. Now, Steven Kopsick, the crew chief on this car, well known for his setup and well known as a driver as well. We wonder what's happening here. Let's check back in with our guys at pit road. Maybe somebody is back near Steven Kopsick and can tell us what's going on.
Guys, the distributor has gone on the 22 of Keith Rocco.
Well, the bid for 3 in a row will fall 2 laps short here for Keith Rocco as that car is stopped at turn 1. Distributor issues on the 22 will end apparently his night 2 laps shy of the finish after running in the top 5 for much of the night. Was 4th when this issue occurred here under the caution flag. So a tough break for Keith Rocco. Will get the push back to the infield, get a good look at the Kurt Brainerd car. A lot of left front damage on his 96 as the crew goes to work. And I think, Ben, this is our first double hook of the night.
I think
for
you might be
the
right.
Chase Van Houten car.
And now you can see the Rocco machine, the Caravello Autos, and of course, Dan Avery owns that particular race car. Michael O'Sullivan and his son helped prepare it all last season. And of course, this year, Steven Kopsick, who's a friend of Keith Rocco, he takes over at the setup and a different combination that has apparently worked well for Keith Rocco. But tonight, an ignition problem will end his run with just shy of 2 laps shy of an important run here in tonight's program, because that team is chasing the points as well. And if you're noticing, there is still a ton of cars left in this event. There you're looking at the number 58 machine, the Chase Van Houten car from Wading River on the hook. And it looks like deja vu all over again. Rocco disappointedly being pushed down on pit road. Lights are off. Place your bets now. Is there an odds-on favorite? Tough one to call on that one. But pick your favorite, because in less than a mile, one person will get the accolades, the money, the honor, and those amazing awards in victory lane.
Jonathan Pulio brings the field back to turn number 1. Mike Christopher Jr. to his right elbow, again stays up alongside and was looking to pull up alongside even more off of turn number 2. Christopher is there, as is Flynn in the 24. Off of turn number 4, here comes the race leader, Jonathan Pulio. White flag, 1 lap to go into Casella 80. Christopher with a move to the bottom in turn 1.
Christopher sinks it in at a ton. Pulio is on the outside. Drag race down the back straightaway. Michael Christopher by inches. Here comes Mikey Flynn. Here comes JP on the outside. They come off turn number 4. The fans are jumping up and down in their seats. Michael Christopher has pulled it off. He will take down the victory. JP, Jonathan Pulio, to finish unofficially in 2nd. Mikey Flynn, brilliant run for 3rd. Chyler Chapman for 4th. Marcello Rafano to finish in the top 5. Michael Jervis for 6th. Stephen Chapman for 7th. Corey DiMatteo for 8th. David LaRue for 9th. And Matt Vesser to round out the top 10.
The master of the big races here at the Stafford Motor Speedway does it again tonight in the Casella 80 for Mike Christopher Jr. Set that move up just perfectly off of turn number 4, coming to the white flag. Went to the inside of the racetrack in turn number 1 and took the top spot. And the lead of this race, when it counted the most, Mike Christopher Jr. gets it done here tonight.